Welcome to Question Time. I'm Jack Carston, your host for today. This is your chance to find out about the candidates running in the 2022 BCUSU elections. This session is for the candidates for Vice President of Opportunities and Community. So would you all like to introduce yourselves?
My name is ASHI SAWAN.
My name is HARDEEP SINGH.
My name is Henry KINGDON.
My name is Jacob RUPRECHT.
My name is NIKHIL KESEKA.
My name is NIKHIL GOGNA.
Thank you very much. ASHI, can you take the floor for 30 seconds?
Hi everyone, my name is ASHI SAWAN. I'm running for VP Opportunities and Community. I'm taking this opportunity to serve the students of BCU at best of my capabilities to ensure that all the faith and cultural societies get their voice heard. I have a great experience of leading sports team and would work with the sports club to ensure the physical fitness and mental well-being for the students. If I get elected, I would practice more sustainable. So I would ensure more sustainable practices in the university by supporting Vocal for Local. Thank you.
And HARDEEP?
Hi everyone, my name is HARDEEP SINGH. I'm standing for this position of VP Opportunities and Community. I'm doing Masters in Management and Finance, so I do know how to manage time and funds as well. I've interacted with a lot of students and I do recognize the problems that they are facing and I intend to improve upon those. Also, it's a constant journey, so I do feel like constant feedback from the students is required to, improve the, overall student experience. Thank you.
And Henry?
Hello, my name is Henry KINGDON and I'm looking to secure your vote in the upcoming Executive Officer elections. And I'm going to do that based on the promises I make to you today. I want to make sure that every part of this BCU community feels they have the same opportunity to benefit as much as possible from student life. And I intend to do this by bringing this entire university together, overcoming previous issues across having multiple campuses.
And Jacob?
My name's Jacob and I'm running for this position as I feel people can benefit post-grad through the opportunities and clubs and societies that this university provides. As well as this, I also want to provide people with the opportunity to explore their interests that they may not have had available to them or made available to them before, and help certain clubs already that need help in training their societies and their communities, as well as roles and positions like President, Secretary and Vice President that they may be able to use in future employment past the university.
And Nathan?
Hey guys, the reason why I'm running for Vice President is because I genuinely do believe that the student union is a big part of the memories that our students will have at BCU. So with that being said, I genuinely do believe that with a great student union, you will be able to remember BCU as a great university that you attended and make it be memorable as well.
And NIKHIL?
Hi, my name is NIKHIL GOGNA and I'm standing for this position, Vice President Opportunity and Community. So I will ensure that the students will get all the opportunities related to societies and employability purposes. I will work with the Career Plus department in order to make sure that they get proper assistance related to their studies and they can also enjoy the university time as well. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to open up to the floor now for a few questions. In your opinion, what do our student groups want the most? Henry?
Well, I think as someone who has had a great deal of experience recently in running student groups, I've had experience on the committee of Scratch Radio, of the Tabletop Gaming Society, and also assisting those running societies like the Gardening Society or the Put the Kettle On Society. They are looking for more support from the Students' Union and a greater access to the points of call that they need to ensure that they are doing the right thing and getting the right advice from their Students' Union. And if I were to win this election, I promise that I would be making sure that the current restructuring of the Students' Union is improved and expanded upon to better meet the needs of those society leaders.
Jacob?
I think guidance is important, as well as the opportunities that have been provided already in certain clubs and societies, but I think rather than trying to push for new opportunities and things like this, I think it's development of what we've already got, try and push and further opportunities past university. When I took a role in one of the sports societies, in the rugby society, I didn't get much training in the position and I had to pick it up as I went and learn from other people. I feel like providing the opportunity to give people training in the position, learn different skills and benefit from that, not only helps them in the position now and helps them pass it down to people further in the societies for the future, but also helps them postgraduate and helping them get their jobs and build skills upon that they'll be able to use in the future.
Any other answers? Yeah?
Yeah. Last year I was part of the African Caribbean Society, and so I kind of got to connect with a lot of students back when I was in the society. And what I realised is that different year groups need different things. So, for example, third years will be looking for more things where it would be like they want more experience. They're about to go to search for their graduate jobs. Therefore, they're going to be wanting to look for professional guidance. So with what I'm trying to offer is that try to bring in professionals in for the third years, whereas with first years, they're trying to just make sure that they're mingling and make sure that they're involved in societies and making sure that they're making new friends. You know, when you're a first year, it is quite hard to be able to kind of fit in. As someone myself, I did come to uni by myself, but I did make sure that I had a lot of great friends back in the day. So now, with that being said, I genuinely do believe that I would target it based on the different years and based on the different groups that everyone is, to make sure there's preference for everyone.
Yeah. NIKHIL?
So I really believe that COVID has really impacted student academic life and social life. So I will make sure that students are from their first year, from their beginning, they are getting proper support, even if it's in their academic or if they are like joining any societies, and I will ensure that they will get proper support and yeah.
Okay.
I will ensure more systemic practices like supporting vocal for local for the students and like stop using disposable items. Also, I have an experience with leading a sports team in the national level. I would work with the sports club for the students for more practice sessions for their development physically and for their skills too.
The 6 months that I've spent in BCU, I've tried to be a part of many societies. I am a member of Bollywood Society. I am a president for Postgraduate Society as well. So issue that I think most of the society leaders are facing is with regards to the support in getting from SU. Certain things are not clearly listed out. So I would try to make changes so that everything is set beforehand, so that it's easier for society leaders to sort of run their campaigns. Other than that, I think the students do need the opportunities in order to have more, be able to gain some skills which would help them in their getting employed. Yeah.
You've all talked a lot about support and being able to provide support, but as well as that, how do you want to get people to join the clubs and societies at the SU? Henry?
Well, one of the important parts of my campaign that I've talked about is how I feel that societies should be at the heart of representing student voices within the Students' Union. And that includes setting up working groups within representation societies, so they have the opportunity to talk about the issues that affect them most. And when it comes to creating policy at the Students' Union, I want their voices to be at the centre of it. Also, I want to support the media societies, Scratch Radio, Polygon newspaper and the new Ohana magazine to have their say and become an outlet for student voices. And I think that would be a really positive thing, and I think that would be something that a lot of students would find a great benefit in, is having an opportunity to speak their minds and make their university experience their own and shape the experience that they have.
Jacob?
I feel like something that I've noticed as part of a few societies that I've been a member of throughout sport, the problem we occur is not the introduction of people into the societies, as they are quite readily available to find. It's the inclusion and the continuation of being part. I feel like one of the things I want to focus on in this election and to push forward if I do get the role is not only being a part of a society, but being an active part of it and being in a role, whether that be on the committee or taking certain responsibilities that will help them. It's not about, because the sports stuff, especially with the Commonwealth Games coming up soon, the sports has been very readily promoted and access to it has been made very accessible, in the fact with reduced memberships. We're one of the cheapest in the country with memberships wise, so the university has a benefit of reaping the rewards of that, of how cheap it is to become part of those societies in sport, as well as free membership to other societies and communities throughout the university. But they get that membership and then they may not carry on taking part. It's about being active and it's about being part of that society and ready to step forward and being supported in taking that step forward. So it's, for me, it's being an active part. That's what's important.
Nathan?
What I genuinely do believe is that I do agree with Jake where it comes to at the start. During the first week of university, we all have Freshers Week, where there's all the societies to see it. I remember when I was in first year and I saw all the tables, all the stands. I was so excited, as in I saw all of them, and it made me join them. And then over time, it wasn't more of a case where I just didn't get more interested, but it was more of a case where they just wasn't doing anything. So there would be times where there was a whole month where nothing was happening. And maybe it was because of coronavirus where things did slow down. But at the same time, I feel like one thing that we can do is that try to adapt to circumstances as well. I mean, it's quite hard to adapt to coronavirus, but obviously at the same time now, we have learned from that and we have grown with that, and look how we are today. We was able to adapt to it by going online, we were able to adapt to it by doing lessons, school, university at home. And with that being said now, I believe that with these societies, if we kept on to consistency, we will be able to actually make sure that our students actually stay within the society. Like I like to say, consistency is key, and that's what we have to do as a society moving forward.
NIKHIL?
So as I believe that in societies, like when I came in the first year, like I haven't got any interactions with the students or any societies. So in the second year, I joined a Bollywood society, and it really helped me to stand out, and I also made new friends. And so if I got elected, I will make sure that on touching up to the point that there will be
I can come back to you. ASHI?
I think being part of society is everyone does, but I will focus on more contribution of creativity and more training sessions for them. As for the skills and for the sports as well, but I think active participation is what plays the most important role.
Okay, HARDEEP?
Yeah, I do feel like students do enroll themselves into societies, but their engagement is less. Not only in the society events, but also events organized by the international office, because I'm the international orientation buddy as well. So what I have noticed is that in the starting weeks, the turnout was sort of average. After that, it dipped down quite significantly. So student engagement is something that I do see like it's lacking behind, and I do want to get to know the views of the students, like what they need, so that we can carry out those kinds of events in which we can get in students.
You all mentioned something about...
If I may, can I just come back on a point that keeps, I think has come up from most people here, is the issue of retention of engagement in societies, and also the issues that the recent COVID pandemic has caused with that. And I think a big part of that is down to what support we can give to societies to not just hold events, but hold a range of events of different kinds, and not just in terms of physical events, in-person events, but also support for digital events for those who may not be comfortable in being at in-person events all the time. I know a fair number of people who are concerned about still now about going out and mixing with other people. And so I think having more support for digital events, but also having support for societies to engage in a range of events, both in person and online, would be, I think, the best way to hold up the sort of retain membership in societies and active membership.
Jacob?
I feel like there is a lot of that going on in certain societies already, and the problem may not be that there's types of events that aren't going on, it may be the contact between different clubs. I feel like societies are quite separated and they just stick to their own guns, and you'll have, say, the Bollywood Society may not talk to the Ping Pong Society or something like that because they don't feel like they have any links and there's no one intermediate in the middle. I can say for a fact that with BCU Rugby we did a lot of events online. We did a lot of like little game show things just to keep things fun. We did online training sessions and gave out materials that people could use during the pandemic. It might not be as much as coming up with new events, more than creating a link between societies so that they can give ideas to each other, and having that intermediate body or intermediate bodies, maybe through a committee member on those societies, that could speak to other people and bring up these ideas. So maybe it's just having an extra person, and I'd push for that, and to bring training to people to have extra links and committees, and overall just create a BCU committee rather than just odd societies and odd sports being separated from each other.
Actually, yeah, go on, Nathan.
To add to Nick's point, I believe that what he's saying is right, and I believe that even then we should actually even try to engage some societies together. I remember when I was part of the African Caribbean Society, I remember obviously it was during COVID, around coronavirus last year, so it was quite tough to do things, but there was some rules that, for example, you were allowed to do sports outside. So I remember messaging the Pakistan Society saying that we should be able to host maybe a little football match between Pakistan versus the African Caribbean Society, just to make it fun, make it more engaging, you know, make something out of the situation that we have. But however, that did not happen because coronavirus lockdown just kept coming. Boris Johnson was, he was just changing the rules. We were very indecisive. But the point is that I believe that this is BCU, and combining societies should be one thing. Scratch Radio could get involved with interviewing other societies and how they are going to get involved with stuff like that. Just these ideas I would like to bring forward and bring societies together to making sure that they all want and united.
I would like to say that actually, yeah, those the point you're making about societies working together, I think it's absolutely spot on. And I've seen quite a number of societies who do have been working together recently through Scratch Radio specifically. I'm at the moment liaising to set up a crossover with the Rock Society so that they could potentially have a show on Scratch Radio to show off what they do. Been trying to work a bit with the Gardening Society in a similar way so that they have an opportunity to talk about what they do. And I think it is about, I'm not sure it's about training, but I think it's about signposting and about the Vice President for Opportunities and Community being there to advise the heads of societies on how they can work together and to be listening to societies who are looking to work with other societies.
Okay, ASHI, HARDEEP or NIKHIL, have you got any kind of points to make on what those have been saying? Yeah?
I think beside part of being a society, what plays an important role in a student life is the skills they carry out from the universities. So I would focus on more training sessions and workshops for their training skills and for the society, for the well-being.
Yeah. HARDEEP?
Yeah. The things the other candidates mentioned about, how we can improve the student engagement is like by doing more variety of events, doing digital events. I think it's right, but at the same time, I have been to online events as well, in which there's literally no one joining. So it's best to see what students want. We can also look in the past what kind of events were successful, where we had more turnout, and what all activities in those events were enjoyed by the students, so that we can somehow carry out those kinds of events or activities again which were successful.
NIKHIL, any final comments from you?
Touching up to Hardeep's point, I will say that if I got elected, then I will work collaboratively with the societies and make sure that they are not like physically present, they are also mentally present there, and enjoy the society work. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we could talk about that bit, all day, but I'm going to come to another question. How would you engage with BCU's high commuter and student population within society activities? Jacob?
We have quite a few commuters in the sports societies, and they do struggle to either stay around for social events that we may have on Wednesday nights after sports nights, and then getting to training and getting to events that we may put on. It may be about making sure that there's opportunities for people, say, maybe even something as little as couch surfing, like talking to members of the society and saying, listen, you can stay at mine if you need to do this, if you want to come to an event. But as well as that, it's about broadening where we can put on events and then showing that there's different places that we can do things, make it more accessible during the day, because it's mostly night events that people struggle to get to. People will come in for a day event, people come in for their lectures and things during the day, they'll come in, they're 9 to 5. So it may not be just doing after university events, but trying to gather when would be best for a lot of the people in certain societies to have an event in which more people can attend and they can come in from far. Having it something in the middle of the day rather than at night may be more beneficial than something just at night.
Okay.
I was going to say, I think what would be really useful for those who don't live so close to campus would be that, or at least don't live so close to city centre campus, is that I would be supporting having more events at all the sites at BCU, not just city centre, not just city south, but also across the many buildings that we have. I mean, stretching between Bourneville and Parry Bar, we have a huge number of sites with a huge amount of facilities, which can mean that people from all over Birmingham and even those living further out in the West Midlands would have more of an opportunity to arrive there. One of the points of my manifesto was that I intend to support transport at the Students' Union directly by purchasing minibuses which can be used by societies to get to events, and if that, and I think it would be, if say a society didn't want to be restricted to doing events strictly on campus, if they wanted to go somewhere slightly further afield, they could use that, and that would support the transport needs of their members. One thing that I think is a bit of a shame has disappeared recently was the Commuter Society, but I would definitely be in favour of supporting them and supporting them in terms of funding to restart a commuter society to support those who otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to be as involved in their students' union.
Mm-hmm. Nathan, have you got anything to add on this?
I think, me personally, I would say that with terms of the students that are commuting, that we should also offer ways for it to be easier for them to come down for some certain events. But I do genuinely believe that it's a thing where we have to make sure that they see the value in the events that they are going to be coming to, and making sure that every time they come to an event, it's amazing that they say it's worth me coming. It was worth me coming from London, it was worth me coming from Manchester, it was worth me coming from Hull or any other location that they may be based. If we make it so valuable that they do not want to miss out, then what's stopping them? They're going to want to come themselves, and that's what I believe.
Okay. Nikhil?
As a commuter student myself, I know the struggles faced by students, so I will make sure that the timetables are arranged according to the students. So in lectures there are almost like 2-hour breaks, and I will make sure that there will be less breaks within the lectures, so the students can manage their society time and their study time together.
Okay. Hardeep, ASHI?
One key issue that I've noticed is that the students studying at the City South campus and the other campuses face a lot more issue than the city center ones, because most of the key activities or events are held here, so which makes them like puts them in a difficult position to travel in and forth. So yeah, that's one of the main points that I've highlighted in the manifesto as well, that I will like to do more events across the campuses, not just in the city center. I tend to do a lot of research before doing it, putting up any action. So one of the things that I've also noticed in my fellow candidates' manifesto is that they would like to reduce the number of members required to start a society. They've written it needs to be 10 currently, which is not the case. They tend to make it to 5 or 7. I would like to tell every student it's not like that. You don't even need 5 or 7 members to start a society. It's just that the students know the right thing. So yeah, basically whatever I'll do, I'll try to make sure that students do provide their feedback in order to make changes.
Okay, I'll come to ASHI and then I'll come to you guys. Yeah, ASHI.
I will more focus on doing events not in the Parkside but as well in the Millennium Point as well, because I think the timetable, as my fellow candidate said, that timetable and the lectures affects more for the students. So yes.
Yeah, Jacob.
I was just going to question HARDEEP's point on, you mentioned a minimum amount of people need to be part of the society. As much as we want inclusion and as much possibility and opportunity, when does it become, is it amicable to start a society with just 2 people and providing support to those people? Is it going to be beneficial to them? And what if, for example, one of the people drops out? Does that community just become 1 person?
No. The point I mentioned was like one of the candidates did write in his manifesto that you currently need 10 members to start a society, and he would make the change so that only 5 or 7 members can start a society. So I just wanted to point out it's not like that. You don't need even 5 or 7 members.
Yeah, so you say that you don't need 5 or 7, but how many is a minimum amount? Because
well, I might jump in here and say that this year I was involved in starting a society, the Tabletop Gaming Society.
It's 4.
Yeah, we started off with 4 people, and that was 3 months ago. We now have 37 active members. So I think restricting, the start, how you start a society is never going to achieve anything. You want actually people to have the opportunity to start whatever they like and watch it grow, because I think there are so many really talented and passionate students here at BCU who, given the opportunity, will take nothing and make something absolutely amazing.
But then there's that fantastic opportunity that's happened there and people have expanded. But if it comes to a point where that doesn't happen and it just disbands, does it break the morality of the people that started the society and couldn't get something going?
At the end of the day, I don't think you should worry about I don't think you should decide not to do something in case it doesn't work. You should do everything in case it works. You should, and certainly, I maybe that's just a personal philosophy of mine that I don't expect everything I do to work. I just do it and hope. And I think if anything good can come out of it, you might as well try and hope for the best. And that is what I think a lot of students here have done in terms of starting societies, which many people have said, oh, well, there's no point, there's never going to be interest in that. And then they have grown and created some amazing things. So I think absolutely we should always support any endeavour in terms of creating a greater sense of community here at BCU.
Nathan, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I wanted to say something about this point, and then first thing first I wanted to say is that I think I see it like a case of starting a business in a sense. Like I do business and finance, so I'm going to see it as a business standpoint. And if everyone said, oh, there's no point because everyone's doing it, there's not going to be a lot of businesses that will be running at this moment of time. I know there's a lot of people, black owners right now, in terms of the business in our university, that are baking cakes, that are doing eyelashes, that are doing people's hairs and everything. And it's a thing where there's a lot of them, but if they all had the same mentality saying, oh, there's a lot of people, so I might as well not do it, then what's the point of you? We wouldn't have some of the people that are doing it today. Some of them are very, very making their money and making sure that they are making a stable amount of income from what they're doing, even though there's so many other people still doing it as well. So that's what I genuinely believe for that in terms of starting a society. If we all were to start a new society and you try it at least, then once upon a time, the Scratch Radio was a society just started, the ACS was a society just started, the Bollywood Society, all these societies once had a starting and they all just grew over time. You know, it wasn't back when we were at uni, but it has started long ago and has become a society that we see as has sustained itself as a big society today.
Nikhil, have you got anything to add to the conversation?
Yeah, on touching up to Nathan's point, so I believe that Rome was not built in a day, and everything needs a start. And so, if, like for example, if businesses need to be started from zero, and then slightly grow months, year, and we gradually see a rapid growth in the business or anything we do, and yeah.
Okay. But Jacob did make the point of a cut-off point. You've all talked about wanting to start it, and like you say, everything's got to start from somewhere, but do you agree with his point that there has to be a cut-off point or not?
I think there would be a benefit of not just, like Nathan said, there are loads of different societies doing different things. Whether at the start it's a combination and then you could break off into those separate societies and having a larger group of people once it's been built up. So it might be beneficial to build those little communities together at the start and expand upon them, and then you'll have members that are members of multiple societies in which they can split off and either go into their own thing or keep going and keep growing as they are.
And one thing I would say is that, from my experience, I would say that even if a society shrinks and it doesn't seem as popular anymore, it doesn't prove that there isn't still a want and a desire, a need and a desire for that society. I mean, I talked about founding the Tabletop Gaming Society. Technically, that's not the first Tabletop Gaming Society at BCU. There was one last year. Unfortunately, at the end of the year, it folded due to a lack of memberships. And yet, as soon as we gave people the opportunity to be involved, it grew again. One thing, a really good example of a proper BCU-SU institution, at the start of this year, the Polygon newspaper technically only had one member. We've now got the editor-in-chief, the managing editor, the sports editor, a film editor, an arts editor, a social media manager, and it's expanding and expanding. Even though it almost disappeared, and it's about persevering through that and giving people the opportunity to pick up whatever's been here before and shape it themselves and shape their own university experience based around what's available.
ASHI, you got anything to add? No. HARDEEP?
Yeah, I would like to add to Jacob's point. He asked if two members start a society and one backs out, there's just one committee member. So how will that society work? I do know of a society which started with 2 or 3 committee members, but eventually it just turned out to be one because the other 2 backed up. The society is still running. The members of the society are still happy with how it's going on forward. And if elections are held again, I'm pretty sure that out of all those members who have joined the society and do engage with that society will surely nominate themselves for another roles of committee members.
Jacob?
I think it comes back to my point earlier about making sure that there's active members of societies and making sure that people are kept mindful, kept interested, and that's something that I will promote to make sure that the societies do make events, they do keep promoting. They can't just stop after Freshers' Fair. I see it happen a lot. Societies just go, yeah, we've won and done this, we can just move on. No, the promotion needs to keep going on. You get an influx of students in January that may want to get included in societies. I think it's important to just keep pushing. You've got that start-off level of freshers, and just keep pushing at a lower level, not just stopping, so that people do feel active and they've got something to do to get involved, whether it's just the promotion of the committee itself or of the society, and to just further the experiences that they can provide with themselves along to what they can provide to others.
Okay, well, I want to thank the candidates for coming and answering the questions today. I want to thank you as well for submitting your questions. You can find more online at bcusu.com/elections or by going to social media and using the hashtag BCUSU elections as well. Voting opens on Friday the 11th of March at 9 a.m. Thank you very much for coming and goodbye.